Do you want to become a certified beer judge? Well, if you do, stick around because I'm going to talk about that right now.
And sit down.
Alright, hello. This is the tasting process. This is a video, I'm shooting it separate from the other videos because these can get to be kind of interesting, and also I had a lot to do with the whole video setup to do this. So this is Deschutes Obsidian. This is one of the example beers that we're doing as a club with the Sensei Malt Infusers. And this is, we were told to judge it as American, or 20B American Stout, which is a fairly strong, highly roasted, bitter, hoppy, dark stout. It has the body and dark flavors typical of stouts with a more aggressive American hop character and bitterness. So that's the overall impression. Aroma should be moderately strong on the roasted malts. Appearance generally jet black, although some may be very dark brown. Large persistent head, light tan to light brown in color, usually opaque, which it's hard to tell if it's a dark beer. Flavor of moderate to high, very high roasted malt flavors. Slightly burnt coffee grounds sometimes, although it shouldn't be prominent according to the guidelines. Low to medium malt sweetness, which is different from some of the other stouts from some other places that may be a little bit more sweet. Mouthfeel, medium to full body, can be creamy. Can have some roast-derived astringency, but should not be excessive. Medium high to high carbonation, light to moderately strong alcohol warmth, but smooth and not excessively hot. So, let's pop this open. So I'm going to pour it basically straight down the middle, partly to see a little bit of the head. And I've got a little cover here. This is something we gave out as a judging gift at one of the competitions. And this helps trap in the aromas. You can use your hand for this. You can use a piece of paper. It's good to do this because sometimes it helps to smell all flavors, which we may not smell for this. In the actual process of judging, really you're supposed to have a mechanical pencil. For stuff like this, regular pencil will be fine, although I am using a mechanical one. And I tend to make a lot of use of my erasers. So, category 20, subcategory B. Oops. Like I said, American Stout. Now, I did not inspect the fill here or anything. It's not really that important because this is a commercial beer. For a homebrew beer, this is important. It's not usually something that will have a decision on the score. It can be called back to. I've seen beers come in for competitions that were like half full, and that's something that the bottle inspection is half full, and I'm not even sure they actually scored it. I was at the same table when it was up for judging, and the judges had kind of an interesting look on their face. So appearance wise, I don't know if I can get this in the camera too well. Definitely dark black. I'm sorry, I'm out of frame here. Some ruby highlights there that it's going to be hard to see in the camera along the edge of the glass, mostly along the bottom. It's got a tan head. It was pretty thick. It has died down a little bit, but it is persisting as a head there. So appearance, dark black with tan head. That persists as a layer on top. One part of this is the clarity, so this is basically opaque. You cannot see through it. And I am just going to write down that it is opaque. So it is appropriate for the style. I'm going to go ahead and give it a 3 here. I don't give out too many different from 3 on commercial beers. Some of the homebrews I've judged, they go usually 2 to 3. I think I've given out a few 1s, particularly for beers that should be clear and they're, you know, completely opaque, like Sunny Delight opaque. So, Aroma. Fairly prominent coffee roast aroma. And that has a subtle chocolate aroma also. Sometimes to get the aroma better, you can kind of give it a little swirl to try and get some of those volatile organic compounds out. Yeah, definitely coffee, chocolate. I'm actually not getting much of a hop aroma. Actually, I'm getting a little bit of a pine aroma now. So, light, piney, hop aroma. Definitely a great smelling beer. Looking at the guidelines, medium to very low hop aroma, often with a citrusy or resiny character, that's fine. Medium to no esters, and then light alcohol derived aromatics are optional. I did not smell esters. When scoring these, it's also important to note what you don't smell. So, no esters. You know, because that is a part of it. You know, you don't want to. There's no assumption of, you know, if I didn't write it, it's not there. It's better to just say it's not there, and that also helps you fill up the score sheet a little bit, which helps with your score if you're actually in an actual test situation. I'm getting some other flavors come out. Another thing is, a lot of times, I mean, this was kept in my keezer, so it was kept cold. I let it warm up for 10-15 minutes before doing this, and it's still a little chilly. Sometimes if you warm it up, I'm getting like a raisin and almost like a rum flavor as it's warming up. It's really nice. And those are more on the subtle side. So little raisin and rum aroma as the beer warms. So the next one obviously is flavor. So, you know, the score sheet says comment on malt, hops, fermentation characteristics, balance, finish, / aftertaste, and other flavor characteristics. So it's best probably to go in order of how you taste it. So this says a high roast and coffee flavor. Followed by a medium light chocolate flavor. With moderate bitterness. Actually, I'm going to say moderately high bitterness. This is actually kind of bitter. And I'm going to even say, I mean, the balance, as I continue to just let it linger, the balance is really more towards bitterness. From the hops and roasted malts. Bitterness lingers. It's pretty important to say that part because I mean, here it is probably 30 or 40 seconds after I've tasted it and it's still there. I mean, the bitterness is still there. So it's okay to say that it lingers because in some cases it should. Dry finish. I mean, there's no sweetness here at all. It's really dry. It actually has a little bit of astringency too, which doesn't go in flavor. Looking back on the guidelines, moderate to high roasted malt flavors. So I didn't actually score the aroma. The aroma, I'm actually going to give it a 10 out of 12. I don't think it's perfect. I think there could be a little bit more complexity, but overall it's still very good. Flavor, I'm going to give it an 18 out of 20. Possibly a little too high on the bitterness, particularly for the, looking at the balance. I'm looking on the guidelines to see where it should balance at. It doesn't actually say. So, mouthfeel. Definitely full-bodied, only slightly creamy. Definitely some astringency. Oh, moderate carbonation. Really almost like a moderately high. Slight creaminess. Some astringency from roasted malt. Other palate sensations, which there's not really. There's actually no alcohol warmth here, which is odd. What is the ABV on this one? 6.4%. Okay, so that actually makes sense.
Shut up and sit down.
No alcohol. Warming. Give it a 3 here. I hope they let me use this eraser in the actual exam. Overall impression. Well-made beer with a lot of roast aroma and flavor. Roast creates a fair bit of astringency. Makes it quite bitter. I don't have anything to recommend on this, which is difficult because this is Deschutes, so they know their stuff. So I'm gonna give the overall impression an 8. Yeah, I've really kind of harped on the astringency a little bit. The scores are pretty high though. So 10, 13, 31, 34, 42. Which puts it in the excellent category. You know, I don't think this is a world-class beer. I think it's an excellent beer, but not necessarily world-class. 42 puts it right at excellent. I would consider this pretty much a classic example. Almost flawless. It's got some intangibles, which of course they're intangible, so I can't describe them. So, if you want to see more, click that, subscribe to me right there. And there's probably another video right here that YouTube will put. Cheers.